Okay, back with another tip for the Scarlet Minivet. When you crash your drone, and you know I didn't say if, so when you crash your drone, I didn't notice this and didn't think about it until I heard a noise just now. I had adjusted my gimbal, took a small flight, and when I landed it and it was powering down, I heard a little noise that I'd never heard before. And I'm guessing from the impact of a crash, the little screws in here that hold your motors in place. A couple of mine were loose. And let's see, which motor is it? Actually, there's a couple of them that have little score marks on the side. There's one. So there's a good one right there. That's the one to be worried about. See that little tiny scratch? It means it came in contact with the outside edge that it shouldn't have. And I think it's because a couple of the screws were loose. What's odd is that's not even the arm that it fell. I crashed this drone and it actually broke a prop in half, so you know that one arm took the brunt of the force. It's not even that arm that's got the little mark, so this must have just happened on some other little crash toy. Oh yeah, the tool you're going to need to tighten those up is a tiny security tip. Where the hell's the camera? Tiny security tip. And you can grab these at Home Depot for $10 or something. It'll have a multitude of different tips that you'll be able to use in the future for other stuff. But yeah, that's where I pulled this one out of. And out of the 4, there was at least probably 4 screws that were a little bit loose total. And then if you look down on the motor, you see there's a little gap between the plastic. One of mine must have just wobbled a little bit loose because it's got a couple of those little scratch marks on the black part where it shouldn't. Right there's one. So anyway, yeah, anytime your drone takes a crash, I suggest getting one of these screwdrivers. You know, it's too bad they don't actually include it. They give your little blade tip suggestion wings land. You could add the same size little screw in there and somebody could just put something through that little hole for force. Because it would be a small cost on your part to supply it, but it would be a big help. Because without it, somebody's going to have to go to the store and buy the proper tools, and you're definitely going to need it in the future. Anyway, I powered it up and it doesn't make any weird noises now. It's either that or it could also be the props. The counterclockwise props. The middles didn't fit right. They're not quite machined proper and you actually got to like push them down. But if you were to file them, then you're going to lose your flat edges on both sides that made up to the part on the motor. So I was skeptical of taking any material off, because it's actually an oval, 2 flat sides and then rounded, so if you were to egg that out, and you'd probably give the prop too much room to move. And so I just kind of held them and pushed them on a little bit. I don't like them. I'm probably going to see if the DJI Phantom blades fit. Somebody said they do. The 1045s, I think they are. But anyway, that's my tip for the day. After you crash, check the 4 screws that hold these motors on to see if any of them got loose. I should have known to do that because I had such a severe crash that the little rubber shocks had disengaged from my gimbal. So, you know, if you're in a car wreck, you'd figure a bunch of stuff got loose and you'd go tighten it. But I didn't think to check the bolts. This is my first drone, so wasn't thinking everything was going to loosen up, but I guess it did. Anyway, seems to be okay now and I don't hear any weird noises. Here, let's fire it up just to make sure I'm not lying. My gimbal slowly rises up to elevation. I've been having trouble with that since the crash too. Alright, let's see. Alright, motors be idling. Don't see any wobble or anything. that's odd. I just had one shut off. I don't know why would that happen. That is the arm that got hit the hardest right there too. That's weird. Damn it. Yes. There's a problem with that motor. It's got a delay or something. Doesn't look like it's rubbing anymore. There seems to be a little gap around the motor. It spins freely. Shit. There's something else to look at. Okay. Patient 0 demands more attention. Be back later.